Hey everyone, welcome to the final project of this entire series. And today we'll be analyzing a very interesting data set. It's our sharpener users, not exactly our sharpener users, but sort of a recreation of some imaginary users. And this is interesting because it is a very realistic use cases which we at times have to do for our entire infrastructure. And I wanted to share this with you guys. We'll also be doing a very, very interesting and advanced project later on, where we'll be actually recreating an auctioning dashboard, just like you see in the Indian Premier League, the IPL, or other places, in which you can bid and like automatically allot into teams and all that. Very interesting project, which we'll do later. But for now, let's complete this project, and I want you guys to do this very easily. Okay, so make sure you've already watched the previous set of videos on formulae. If not, then it'll be difficult for you to understand this. And if you have understood, then this should be a piece of cake. All right, I'll try to cover the entire thing in just one video. So I hope you're absolutely, absolutely clear. All right, let's get started. So let's talk about the story of the data, like we do always. So, what is the story? We have some user IDs, we have names, their gender. Salutation is the Mr., Mrs., Miss, Doctor, etc. The part before the name. I've kept it blank intentionally. Proper name, also I've kept it blank intentionally. I have first name and last name, but let us just delete this, okay? We want to extract it ourselves. All right. After that comes the state. That is, which state do they belong to? Actually, this is exactly which region do they belong to? North India, South India, West India, and East India. Then comes the pass out year, the price, the payment status, if they made the payment, if it's in progress, total points, the sign up device, streak. Streak, if you know, streak is basically, it's very common in games. Whenever a person comes online on the platform or does some activity on the platform each and every day, the streak increases by one every day. So let's say if someone's streak is 40, that means for the last 40 days, the person has been coming on the platform and doing some task. In our case, it's studies. Even if one day he does not come to the platform, then the streak comes down to zero. So if let's say tomorrow the person did not come online, did not do anything, the streak will turn from 40 to zero. Okay. This is the course name, this is the degree category. Alright. Enough of looking at the data. Let's now get down to putting some formulas. After this, let's the salutation will happen on the basis of the gender, right? So if C2 is equal to male, that would mean that the person is Mr. Otherwise, the person is a Mrs. Sorry, a Miss, because these are mostly students, right? And I can apply this to all. Yes, Google Sheets has done it for me. Now, one thing I want to teach you guys over here. If I want to copy this Mr., okay, I press Control C and I paste it over here, it did not get copied. Something else happened altogether. It became Mrs. If I copied this over here, then it became Mrs. It's quite weird, right? And why is that? Because Google Sheets is not exactly copying Mr. the text. It is copying this formula. And since I'm moving it one step to the right, the C2 becomes D2. So now it is checking if this is equal to male, which is it is not. That's why this is misses. Again, I copied it over here. So now it's checking E2. That is, if E2 is equal to male, then this should be Mr. So if you actually want to copy the value Mr. MR dot, then you copy it the way you do, but you paste by a value over here. So it will not be a control V, it will be a control shift V. Now you can see the actual value gets copied, and I like to do this very often because at times it's difficult to keep track of what data you're changing. So the kind of data that I know will not change at all, I basically paste it by value. Okay, so for example, Mr. and Mrs. will not change, so I'll just copy this entire thing and I'll go to the top again and I'll paste by value, control shift V. Now all the formulas have been replaced by the actual text. All right. After that, what we can do is now we want the proper name. That would mean Mr. Arav Datta and Miss Mishka Jain, etc. So we use concatenate over here. The reason I cannot use concat because concat, as I said, it is only able to join two strings. This time we need to join three strings. What are three strings? If I only do Mr. and if I only join Aravdata, then there'll be no space in between Mr. and Aravdata. So for this reason, I'll add middle parameter for space. And now there's a space, and now we can apply it to all these by pressing Control D. Alright, I do the same. I copy this and I paste by value because the name is not going to change. Similarly, I can split the name and I can split it using space. I hope you watched the strings video. It is very simple. Whenever you want to split a particular text, then the first parameter is the text with which you want to split, and the secondary parameter is what you want to use for splitting it. In our case, it's a space between the first name and the last name. It gets auto applied. Finally, I also copy these two columns and I paste by value. Perfect. Now I have a weird thing to do. I feel that North and South Indians, they are more likely to pay for a course rather than East or West Indians. So what I'll do is on the basis of region, the North and the South folks, they'll get my course at rupees 10,000. But the East and West people, they can get it for only rupees 5,000. So I put a if clause over here, sorry, equal to if. Then I have to, before applying the condition, I'm okay whether the person is north or south, right? Both are fine for me. So under the or bracket, I'll put my two conditions. If H2 is equal to north, or secondary condition is H2 is equal to south. If any one of these, since it's an or, any one of these is true, then this should be, I'll forget rupees, I'll just enter the value 10,000. Otherwise, it should be 5,000. All right. Since this is a value, it might change. I'll not paste this by value. And what do we have here? This is 5,000. Why? Because the person is from west. North, so it's 10,000. South, so it's 10,000. East, it's 5,000. It is working, that means. All right, perfect, perfect. Okay, I think we are going good. What else do we have to do? I think we're done with the basic formula assessment over here. If you have any more formulas that you want to explore, please check out the previous set of videos. And I want to basically use pivot tables to do some quick short analysis. So I select all of this, I go insert and pivot table, new sheet. And what we want to do is we want to do streak analysis. Okay, we'll come to login issues in just a minute. It's a separate topic. All right. So let us. What do we want to analyze for streaks? We want to see uh, divided by divided by their region. What is the average streak? Oh, this will be interesting. So I want to see who are more hardworking kind of students. So I'm in my values. I'll put streak and I'll select average. Right now, this is the overall average, but we actually want to divide it by region. So it's row wise, split by region. Okay, we don't need so much. Okay, so who is leading? East people are the most hardworking, followed by the West people. The North people are relatively lesser, and the South people are even lesser. I don't think that's fair. I live in Bangalore, so I think the South people are very hardworking, but the data says what it says. Okay, what apart from that? Let's just copy this pivot table and also let's split it by a degree. Okay, we don't need region, let's split it by a degree. And what do we have over here? Let's again sort it on the basis of average streak. Diploma people are the most hardworking, followed by non-coding, non-engineering students. Interesting. I'm an engineer, so I'm feeling a bit weird. BCA and MCA folks, they come next, and okay, BTech, the two categories are working the least. Interesting data points. And one more final thing is we want to understand the average points across different courses. What I mean to say is now instead of checking the streak, actually let's just take streak and point analysis. Alright. Instead of streak, let me select total points. Again, I want to average it out. And again, we can sort it over here. Okay, so interestingly, despite diploma folks being very dedicated, more points have been achieved by BCA and MCA folks. It's an interesting insight. So you see how different things I'm interconnecting to analyze this better. This can lead to a lot of decision making. So for example, over here, we could see that East and West folks are actually working more dedicatedly as compared to North and South. So maybe this was a mistake. Me charging North and South students more, rupees 10,000, was a mistake. Now you see this is a business decision, and that's what your role as an analyst is. I'll not play around with data more because it is endless. You can play around with payment status and multiple other things. Now I'll come to a very important formula which we covered previously, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. And why do I need this? Because I'm analyzing some login issues. So these users have reported login issues, and my team has asked me to check what is their name and what is their sign up device. Now I can either check these manually because these are 10 in number, but honestly, even that is very slow. Let me show you how to do it in just a minute. Okay, so if you watch this video on VLOOKUP, then this should be very clear. If not, check out the video on VLOOKUP. Do not do this without trying. Okay, all right. So VLOOKUP will basically check for this user ID in this particular data file. So second parameter, the data file. However, I need to select right from column A because our first column should match the value we are searching. So I'll select from A2 and I'll just select the entire data sheet. Okay. All right. I've selected the entire data sheet. And after that, I need the column number. So what is the column number? A is our first column, and we need first the sign up device. So that will be basically column M. What is column M? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th column. All right, followed by false. All right, that seems pretty much right. But remember, this is a range, so it makes sense if we lock it. Although we have selected everything, but it's a good practice to lock ranges. Now we can drag it so that the range doesn't change, but our search element keeps on changing. Previously A2, after that A9, etc. Oh, interestingly, all the users are reporting login issues from mobile. What does this tell us? That there is a bug in the mobile login page. Web login page seems to be working fine. Again, something that analytics has told us, right? And similarly, we can also find out the formula for this particular person to extract the name. So we just copy this formula, we paste it over here, but this row number will change, right? Sorry, the column number will change. Now we need the name of the person, which is just the second column itself. So over here, we replace this 13 by 2, and that's it. It's done. Simple to do, right? I hope this was clear. If you're viewing this project directly and haven't really focused on the concept videos, then it is your fault. Please focus on the concept videos and I attach it again so that you're very careful. And I think now you should be able to easily answer questions. Okay. In the actual project, in the questions, the values may or may not be a little bit different. So I want you guys to try it yourself, and that's why I'll keep on changing the values every now and then. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this particular project, and I will either see you in the interesting one, that is the IPL dashboard, or after this, you'll be moving on to your next course concept, and that is using different Python libraries to analyze and plot data. It is also very super simple. I have myself checked this entire course structure. I hope you enjoyed this particular thing. I hope you learned something about sheets. As I told you, you can apply this for Microsoft Excel as well or any other spreadsheet software. It does not really matter. This was a long video, but it was a very essential one. I hope everything is clear now. And I'll see you in the next series and maybe in the sessions when we interact with each other. All the best.